The moment Daniel Carter handed away the last warm meal meant for himself, he knew he might not make it through the night. Yet strangely, his heart felt lighter than it had in years. The city of Portland, Oregon, was waking slowly. Morning light spilled over Riverside Green Park, where tall maple trees stood like quiet witnesses to thousands of untold stories. The air smelled of wet grass and distant coffee shops. City buses hummed along the nearby road, stopping and starting like tired lungs catching breath. Daniel sat on a wooden bench near the walking trail, his old military jacket pulled tight around him. The jacket once carried pride. Now it carried memories and cold. He was a single father, a U.S. Army veteran, and a man trying to survive one day at a time. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, was at school, thanks to a community program that allowed her breakfast and lunch. Daniel often skipped meals so Lily would never feel hunger. That morning, he had bought one bowl of hot soup from a small food stand using the last few dollars he had earned unloading boxes the night before. As he lifted the spoon, a quiet voice interrupted his thoughts. "Sir, I'm sorry to bother you." Daniel looked up. A young woman stood there, her coat thin, her hands shaking. Her name, he would later learn, was Maria Lopez. Her eyes kept drifting toward the soup, then away, as if she was ashamed of the need written all over her face. "I haven't eaten since yesterday," she whispered. I saw the steam." Daniel's stomach tightened. He thought of Lily's smile that morning. He thought of the long night ahead. He thought of survival. Then he pushed the bowl toward her. "Sit," he said softly, "please." Maria froze. "No, I didn't mean." "It's okay," Daniel replied. "I'll be fine." That was a lie, but it was one he chose willingly. As Maria ate, tears slid down her face, falling into the soup. She told him her story in broken sentences. She had come to the city for work, lost her job, missed a rent payment, and then everything collapsed. She was alone, just like him. A city bus pulled up nearby, its doors hissing open. People stepped out with warm coats and busy lives, unaware that a single act of kindness was unfolding quietly on a park bench. When Maria finished, she tried to hand the bowl back, now half empty. "No," Daniel said gently, "finish it." She looked at him as if she were seeing something rare. "Why would you do this for me?" Daniel stared at the trees, their leaves glowing gold in the sunlight. "Because once a stranger did the same for me, and I'm still here because of it." Maria left with whispered thanks, walking toward the bus stop with steadier steps. Daniel sat alone again. His hands were empty, his stomach growled. The city felt bigger, louder, and colder. By afternoon, clouds rolled in. Daniel walked to the edge of the park where a small Veterans Resource office stood. The door was closed. A sign read, "Back tomorrow." He sat on the steps, exhaustion pressing into his bones. A helicopter passed overhead, heading toward the hospital downtown, its low thrum echoing through the air. That night, rain began to fall. Daniel wondered if kindness had finally cost him everything. Rain turned the park into a silver mirror. Streetlights shimmered on wet paths as Daniel walked slowly toward the shelter where Lily would meet him after school activities. Every step felt heavier than the last. He hadn't eaten all day. At a crosswalk near Jefferson Bridge, a black sedan slowed beside him. The window rolled down. "Daniel Carter?" a man asked. Daniel tensed. "Yes." "I'm Ethan Brooks," the man said. "We need to talk." Ethan explained that he worked with a local nonprofit supporting veterans. Earlier that morning, Maria had gone to their office. She told them everything, not just about the soup, but about Daniel, about his jacket, about the way he smiled even when hungry. "She wouldn't stop talking about you," Ethan said, "so we looked you up." Daniel stood silent as rain soaked his sleeves. Ethan continued, "We have an emergency housing unit opening tonight. It's small but safe. And there's work available, warehouse management, full-time." Daniel's breath caught. "Why are you helping me?" Ethan smiled. "Because kindness travels faster than despair." That evening, Daniel and Lily unlocked the door to a tiny apartment overlooking a quiet street. Lily ran from room to room, laughing, touching the walls as if they might disappear. "Daddy," she said, "we have windows." Daniel turned away so she wouldn't see him cry. Days turned into weeks. Daniel worked hard, earning respect. He volunteered on weekends at Riverside Green Park, helping others find resources. One afternoon, while organizing donated coats, he saw Maria again. She looked different, stronger. "I got a job," she said proudly, "and a room because of you." "No," Daniel replied, "because of you telling the truth." Winter came, then passed. Spring painted the city green again. Buses still rolled by the park. Motorbikes buzzed along the river road. Life kept moving. One Saturday, a small ceremony was held under the trees. Veterans, families, and volunteers gathered. A local reporter filmed quietly from a distance. Daniel stood at the front, holding Lily's hand. "I didn't save anyone," he said into the microphone, his voice steady. "I just shared what little I had, and somehow that was enough." Applause rose like a warm wind. The story of Daniel Carter did not end with applause or cameras. It continued in quieter ways, the ways that truly matter. On early mornings, Daniel could still be found in Riverside Green Park, walking Lily to the playground before school. The city felt different now, kinder, or maybe he simply noticed kindness more. He noticed it in the bus driver, who waited an extra second for a running passenger. In the woman who shared her umbrella at a crosswalk. In the veteran who sat beside a stranger and listened. Daniel often thought about that bowl of soup, how small it was, how heavy the choice had felt, how enormous the result became. Kindness, he learned, does not require abundance. It requires courage. Sometimes, life will ask you a question when you are at your weakest. Will you protect yourself, or will you protect your humanity? Daniel had answered with kindness. And lives were changed forever. Dear viewers, if this story touched your heart, imagine how many real stories like this are happening quietly around us every day. A small act, a shared meal, a moment of compassion. These are the things that change the world, not all at once, but one life at a time. Please comment below and share your thoughts. We would love to hear what kindness means to you. If you believe stories like Daniel's deserve to be heard, like this video and share it with your friends and family. You never know who might need hope today. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Kindness Quest, for more inspiring, real voice stories that remind us of the power we all carry within us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing in kindness.